Yeah, so my biggest trading letdown and the reason it was my biggest letdown is not because of the amount of money I lost, which was big. It was because I broke all my rules and I let myself down, and I continued to let myself down, and then I let myself spiral out of control. And that loss of emotional control is everything. I was at a rehabilitation center in the Philippines, and I was asked would I be prepared to do some coaching with some young boys who were in a detention center from the age of 13 to 22. You know, there was everything from armed robbery to burglary, rape and murder. You know, at 13 to 22-year-olds, so it's pretty hectic. My talk was all about emotional control because it can take a lifetime to build an empire, and it can take a day to destroy it. I mean, that is just the reality. And what do I mean by that? Well, you can get there's times in our lives when, you've gone, I can't believe I said that, I can't believe I did that, and you're embarrassed. And there's other times in your life where, you've gone, yeah, that was me, and you kind of, but the reality is, it's still you. I said to these young boys, my first opening remark was, you're not you. And they were like, what do you mean? I said, you are not you. You are the emotional state you are in at any given time, and the biggest mistake you could make is to make a big mistake, get a brush with the law, end up in a detention center, and then buy into the ridiculous belief that that is who you are, because then the strongest force in human nature is your perception of your own identity. See, if you now believe your identity is, I am a murderer, a rapist, whatever, then your behavior is going to be consistent with that. All human beings ensure their behavior is kind of consistent with their perception of their identity. And so if you've labeled your identity as a murderer, a rapist, not all of these kids were certainly in for that level of crime, a few of them were, then it's very difficult to move past that, because what you've done is you've labeled yourself as something that happened in the moment. And so the real key, and the reason I answered the question, my biggest letdown in the trading game was where I allowed myself not just to make some mistakes. That happens to all of us. It was my response to the mistakes, because I didn't respond, I reacted. And the difference between responding and reacting is, faced with a setback, you are either in emotional control or you are out of emotional control. And what I was trying to teach these young boys was there is really three modes of thinking that we can employ to ensure that we keep a hold of our emotional control. And this is crucial for traders. The first is physiology, how we use our body, how we use our breathing. If we actually become conscious of our breathing, we don't get ourselves all riled up. How we use our language, so how we describe the experience, the label we give the experience becomes the experience, and then what we choose to focus on in that moment. So it's our physiology, how we breathe, how we use our body. It's the language, the labels we give the experience. I'm such a loser, why am I such an idiot, or what can I learn from this? And then what I choose to focus on in that moment. If we control those three factors, we can regain emotional control. Remember, we are not ourselves. You are not you, I am not me. I am the emotional state I am in the moment, and that is magnified in the trading game. Then add leverage, and it's magnified even further. That's why the regulators across the world now are reducing leverage for people, because they realize so many people who are coming into trading for the first time have not exercised proper, correct emotional control. You add some leverage, they get themselves right into trouble. So the game here is not so much to learn the next trading technique, or to learn the next tool, or to have more leverage, or any of these gimmicks. The key here is to establish emotional mastery first, getting a control of yourself, being able to respond in the moment rather than react. And if you can do that, you can win.